Hello everyone, today we will discuss about microflora of food. The primary objectives of this module are to know about the types of microorganisms present in various food and possible sources of entry and their role, along with survival and growth in diverse food environment. Food for consumption is available in diverse forms such as the raw, semi or fully baked, pre-cooked forms and other forms that may be just heated before serving. Due to nutrition and favorable physiochemical conditions offered by the food, many heterotrophic microorganisms readily colonize and render it unfit for human consumption. The commonly found microorganisms in the food matrix are molds, yeast, bacteria, and sometimes viruses and protozoa. These microorganisms form a stable and complex ecosystem in different food like beverages, juices, and dairy products. Their collective metabolic activities account for numerous physicochemical and aromatic transformations that influence the nutritive value and shelf life of the product. Microorganisms plays a significant role in food. Among the most common roles of microorganisms in relation to the food are depicted in this slide. The microorganisms in food may play one of these roles, maybe as pathogenic microorganisms which are responsible for foodborne infection as well as intoxications, or saprophytic microorganisms which actively degrade and thereby cause food spoilage, and the starter or cultured microorganism which involved in food fermentation and mainly used in food processing industries. Beneficial roles of microorganisms. Various strains of bacteria and fungi are used in fermenting dairy products like cultured milk product, cheese. Lactic acid bacteria are mainly used for coagulation of milk. Lactobacillus and bifidobacteria are used as probiotic. Mushrooms such as Agaricus bisporus are one of the most widely used as a food source, and yeast such as Saccharomyces carlsbergensis is the most commonly used in the production of beer. The primary sources of entry of microorganisms in food are from the soil, water, air, sewage, handling and processing, and storage. The fecal-oral route is a particular mode of transmission of microorganisms. During this route of transmission, a pathogenic microorganism in fecal particles pass from one person to the mouth of another person through contaminated water and hands, arthropods, or soil. The potential of microorganisms to survive and multiply in food matrix is determined by the food environment as well as environment where food is kept. The factors related to food itself includes nutrients, water activity, pH, redox potential, and the factors of surrounding environments of food such as storage temperature, relative humidity, gases, and activities of other nearby microorganisms. The soil harbors a diversity of microorganisms and is the primary source of direct and indirect contamination of the plants and animals. The high population of Clostridium, Pseudomonas, Bacilli, Micrococcus, Enterobacter bacteria, molds like Aspergillus, Penicillium and Fusarium, and other yeast like Saccharomyces candida are present in the soil. Soil contains both spore-forming and asporogenous bacteria. They are further grouped as gram-positive or gram-negative bacteria on the basis of the gram-staining properties. Water is a growth medium for plant and animals. It finds extensive use as an ingredient in food preparation and processing, washing, fluid transport, lowering temperatures, washing and disinfection. Natural waters are carrier of several microorganisms originating from aquatic or terrestrial environments. Raw and treated sewage and other pollutants found in water bodies. Wastewater is recycled for irrigation, and improperly treated water harbor pathogenic and spoilage causing microorganisms. Untreated sewage water containing human pathogenic microorganisms which can contaminate the food. Microbial contamination of water is frequently linked with an outbreaks of Salmonella and Campylobacter. Food products originating from marine freshwater are directly affected by the quality of water. These water bodies may have pathogenic bacteria, viruses, and parasites that eventually causes contamination of food. The sources of microorganisms in the air are mainly suspended in dust or soil particles, droplets of moisture, spores, and pollens. The microorganisms present in air get deposited on the food being processed and contribute to microbial load and subsequent spoilage of food. The number of microorganisms present in air depends on factors such as extent of movement of air, sunshine, humidity, location, and amount of suspended dust in the air. Air with low moisture, dust content, and high temperature characteristically having a low microbial load. Airborne microorganisms including bacterial species like Micrococcus, spores, few fungi, Aspergillus, Alternaria, Penicillium, but no yeast or pathogens. The fruits, vegetables, meat that are in direct contact with air are most likely contaminated by air microorganisms. Some pathogenic organisms gain access to food due to human intervention. Examples include E. coli, Staphylococcus aureus, Salmonella, Shigella, hepatitis A. Human is the main carrier for that. Food handlers at different stages of food production, for example farms, post-harvesting handling, processing plants, retailers, and restaurants and at home may introduce the pathogens in the food. The adoption of sanitary measures, maintenance of personal hygiene are the preventive measures required. Post-harvest mismanagement of fruits and vegetables produces breaks in them which prevent microbial invasion. Fruits being rich in sugars and acids are highly susceptible to fungi, while vegetables with less sugar content and having near neutral pH are more susceptible to bacterial infections. The common bacteria which occurs Pseudomonas aequigens, Micrococcus, Erwinia, Bacillus, and Clostridium. Also, different fungi and yeast are also present on the surface and inside fruits and vegetables. The moisture content, nutrient content, and pH of mature fruits and vegetables are key determinants of the nature and number of pathogenic microorganisms present on fruits and vegetables. The post-harvest microflora also regulates the persistence and multiplication of human pathogens. A change in pH of the plant tissue by post-harvest molds growth facilitates the growth of disease-causing bacteria. The minor sources of food contamination are arthropods, rodents, birds, house pets, etc. Damage to stored grains by boring and feeding activities of the insect or tunneling action into stems and roots of crop plants are some of the modes of damage. The indirect effect of pest is through damage to protective cover or skin of the food item through which microorganisms gain access and initiate the rapid deterioration process. In addition to the transfer of microorganisms, insects also pollute the food with their body fragments, excreta, and associated microorganisms. The high mobility exhibited by insect flies and cockroaches transfer the pathogenic microorganism from waste to food commodities. Rodents serve both as vector as well as reservoir for pathogens like Salmonella, Campylobacter, Leptospira, Toxoplasma, and Trichonella species. Wild rodents can be reservoir and vectors of many agents of disease to animals and humans. Rats and mice act as vectors for food poisoning organisms, especially Salmonella group. Insects are one of the potential vectors of foodborne pathogens. They serve as an intermediate host due to their high rate of reproduction, insects rapidly increase the microbial loads. The frequently found pathogens which are commonly associated with the insect are bacteria, fungi, viruses, protozoa and nematodes. The common foodborne pathogens associated with insect hosts are E. coli, Salmonella, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, Enterococcus faecalis, Enterococcus viridans, Streptococci, Staphylococcus aureus, and yeast Candida species. Most pathogens associated with insect include foodborne bacteria such as E. coli, Salmonella, Shigella, and Campylobacter. Houseflies are vector of potential pathogenic bacteria like Pseudomonas aeruginosa, Enterococcus faecalis, Enterococcus viridans, Streptococci, and Candida species. The pathogen adhere to body parts of vectors while feeding on infected host. Flies and cockroaches visit indiscriminately on both waste and food commodities. The native microflora present in raw food of plant and animal origin are in an ecological equilibrium with their host. Their attribute primarily depends on the nature of host, its geography and prevailing environment. In addition to the native flora, many external agents also contribute to microbial load of food. The major contributors are water, air, soil, sewage residues, insect, pest, rodents, food ingredients, food handlers and their equipment. Important factors which include post-harvest handling and prevailing sanitary condition during handling of the food. Under natural condition, internal tissues of healthy plant or animal are devoid of living organisms. However, the surface morphologies and biochemical reactions occurring during different plant parts provide favorable conditions that selectively promote the growth of specific species of microorganisms. The resultant microbial growth on raw fruits and vegetables form biofilm. The disease-causing organism as well protected due to entrapment in biofilm, rendering them inaccessible to the microbicidal action of sanitizer and other chemical agents. The common microbial contaminant of fruits and vegetables are bacteria, fungi and yeast. Bacterial species including Pseudomonas, Alcligens, Micrococcus, Erwinia, Bacillus, Clostridium, Enterobacter, Lactobacillus, Leuconostoc, Sarcina, Staphylococcus and Streptococcus. Cereals. The molds present on the grains are called field fungi and capable of forming fungal toxins. Field fungi are Aspergillus, Alternaria, Penicillium, Fusarium, which are all potential sources of mycotoxins. Most common species of molds storage fungi are Phorizopus, Aspergillus, Alternaria, Penicillium, Fusarium and Mucor. Aspergillus and Penicillium are major storage fungi in stored grains as mycotoxins poses a potential danger to the health. Cereals and cereal products also harbor non-pathogenic bacteria such as Bacillus, Lactobacillus, Micrococcus, Pseudomonas, Sarcina, Serratia and some coliforms. Most of these originate from insect, soil and other sources. Microorganisms present in major group of plant-based food, wheat flours. Wheat flours are contaminated mostly by bacteria such as species of Bacillus, Lactobacillus, Micrococcus, Pseudomonas, Sarcina and Serratia. Fungi like Aspergillus, Penicillium, Rhizopus, Neurospora, Endomyces are very common. Bread is a major cereal product. Dough for bread making is prepared from flours which undergo microbes mediated fermentation. Unrestrained fermentation causes excessive acid formation and souring. Too much increase in the population of protein degrading bacteria decreases the gas holding capacity, which is considered as a quality necessary for raising the dough. Baking of loaf of bread at very high temperature kills microorganisms. Two major forms of bread spoilage are termed as roughness and moldiness. Roughness in bread is due to spore forming bacteria like Bacillus subtilis that survive at baking temperatures. The microbial load in food can be minimized by taking certain steps. If sewage is to be used as a source of plant nutrients like fertilizer, then it should be subjected to proper treatment. Attempt to reduce damage during harvesting of the crop. The produce may be made soil or dirt free by means. For instance, vegetables or fruits may be quickly washed with good quality water, or food may be stored at low temperature before and after processing. Food, animals, birds, fish and shellfish carry a diversity of indigenous microorganisms in the gastrointestinal tract, respiratory tract, urogenitary tract and teat canal, udder, skin, hooves, hair and feathers. The common microbes in cattle, swine and poultry are Campylobacter, Listeria, Salmonella, Escherichia coli and other Shiga toxins and enterotoxin strains of Escherichia coli. Yersinia Enterococcus species Vibrio that may gain access to food causing infection in food consumers. Animal product major contributors of the microbes. Food under different stages of preparation containing a diversity of microorganisms. The intrinsic sources are the physical environmental factors like soil, water, air, animal feed, food ingredients, sewage, equipment, food handlers, insect rodents and other living agents which determine the nature and quantum of microbial load of a food item. Some organisms are neutral while others may be beneficial or pathogenic. Adequate measures should be taken to reduce a load of pathogenic microorganisms to make food safe for the consumers as well as to prevent food spoilage.